that nurturing gene in her. You picture mothers on Mother's Day. You think of them in aprons, with baking flour on their hands, baking bread, and setting forth a beautiful. That wasn't my mother. My mother really shined at cocktail hour. Is when she shined. She was funny. She was witty. She loved conversation. She'd say things like, "Oh, Tim, come in and tell us about your school day." I mean, that was my mother. School lunches, she would make them, we had no cafeteria. We ate in the classroom, like you probably did. So it was at 7 in the morning that Mom was busy making lunches for my sisters and myself, and it was an assembly line: bread, bologna, mustard, bread, bologna, mustard, bread. And the bologna came in these round packages, and when you opened a new package, there was a cardboard picture of a piece of bologna. And so, bread, bologna, mustard, bread. Bread, bologna, mustard, bread. I got to school that day and took a bite into my bologna sandwich and I got a cardboard piece of bologna. And my mother said, "Well, you ate the bread, didn't you?" One more story, and then we have to. My mother, this elegant woman, this funny, witty woman, was sometimes pressed into duty as a real mom, and so she was asked one day to become a den mother for us Cub Scouts. She was terrified. She bought the blue shirt, the Navy shirt. Maybe you have that, Mom or Dad. And she got the maize kerchief that she wore. "Tim, this is not my style," she says. And she had that large node that she tightened the thing. So we sat down, we weeblos, and opened to page 12, read the manual. Well, there was a merit badge that we were, in order to move on in the scouting world, that we were expected to learn the knots. Did I tell you this? There was a whole page of knots with rope, and they have little pictures. There was 10 or 12 of them, and if you learned how to tie those knots, you got a merit badge, and that went on to your sash, and we all wanted a merit badge. So the rest of the Weeblos were quick to learn the knots, and you guessed it, I didn't. And the reason that I didn't is because my mom is the den mother, so there. Anyway, that night, the night before they awarded the merit badges, Mom sat down with her son and said, "Tim, have you learned the knots?" And I said, "Well, sorta." And Mom said, "Well, let's see." And she says, "Let's look here." She goes, "Now that's a square knot. Can you show me the square knot?" I said, "No." She goes, "If you tried real hard, do you think you could tie a square knot?" And I said, "Sure, Mom." And there was a little block right next to that said, "Task accomplished." Check. How about, I'm going to confession here, okay? How about a slip knot? Can you tie a slip knot? "Yeah, Mom, I could tie a slip knot if I tried. I could do that." Check. We went through about 5 of these, and finally Mom said, cigarette in hand, she said, "Tim, I don't think we can do this. It's just not right." And with that, Mom stepped down as a den mother, and I bailed out of the Webelos, and I stand to you before you today, having failed to be a Webelo. What's my point? My point is this. God comes to us and reveals himself through those that we love, and through the kindness and the words and the witness of their faith in God. Not just kindness and sweetness, but, Tim, our Father who art in heaven. So this Mother's Day, I invite you